In this video, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to create the starfield, moon, and nebula image in Photoshop entirely from scratch. Let's get started. Begin by opening a new file in Photoshop. I size this one at 720, width by 1080, length. Now in your layers palette, make sure that your first layer here is filled with black. If it isn't filled with black, go to your edit menu. From the drop down, select fill, and from the contents menu, select black and hit OK. Next, you're going to go to your filter menu, drop down, and you're going to go down the filter list and select noise, add noise. From here in this little slider window, select 50% noise, put it on Gaussian and select monochromatic, hit OK. Now you need to blur these stars a little bit, so go to your filter menu again, and this time you're going to go down to your blur menu and select Gaussian blur from the drop down. In the Gaussian blur slider window, select your radius set at 1.5 pixels and select OK. Now at this point, go to your image drop-down menu, select Adjustments and Levels. And here you'll have this little triangle shape that's showing you the star field behind you, the different colors in the image. The idea is you want to get all of these little sliders under the triangle pretty close together at the end. At the tail part of this triangle. And you can see behind you how the stars are shaping up. When you're satisfied with your star field behind here, just select OK. Now to create the moon, go to your tools palette here and select ellipse tool. Hold down your shift key and draw out a round ellipse tool. It'll place it on its own separate layer. Right click on that layer and select rasterize layer. Now hold down your control button and select that layer again, so that you get the white marching ants. And what you want to do is you want to fill that selection with white. So you're going to go to Edit, Fill, and from the drop down, select White, and select OK. Now to create the crater effect, you're going to go up to your filter again, and this time you're going to select from the drop down Render, Clouds. Okay, and then now you need to deselect the moon here. So go up to your selection menu and just select deselect. Okay, now to create the nebula effect, I would add a new layer down here in the layers palette by clicking on this plus sign and get a nice soft big brush out. This one is set to 300 soft. I set the opacity to about 50% and the flow to I'm going to bring it down a little bit to about 39, and pick whatever colors you like from the color palette. I think I used a little blue last time, and just start painting on that layer. Okay, and you can go right over the moon a little bit. All right, and now pick another layer that's like a little bit of a contrast color, maybe a little bit of a more of a yellow, more yellowish green. Good. Okay, and paint right over that, just to give it a little bit of shape and dynamism. Okay, now you want to add a treatment to that layer, so you're going to go over to that layer that you just painted on, and from the drop-down menu above it, select Screen. Okay, do you see how that lets your star field shine through? And I would move this opacity button down to about wherever you like it, 60%. You can, at this point, add more color to the nebula if you like. Put a little pink in there. That would be nice. Okay, so you can paint right on it, and it's fine. Okay, now to create that wispy effect in the nebula, what you would want to do is you're going to have a new layer, plus, and go over to your edit drop down menu again, and this time you're going to pick a pattern from the contents drop down. Select pattern, and there's a water folder. In that water folder, click it open, select this last pattern, and it'll fill your image. Now you need to treat that layer again, so I would go to your screen, select screen as a filter, and drop the opacity down to about 50% or so, about this much. Okay, that's nice. Now you can see a little bit of wisps here in the sky and in the clouds, and that makes a very nice nebula effect. All right, there are a lot of different other little things that you can do to tweak this image, but that's the basics. And what I would do at this point is, depending if you want to continue to work in the file, save it as a PSD. If not, if you're ready to export it, then you would flatten the image, go up to your file menu, and save as. A PNG file would be good. In this tutorial, you learned how to create a star field entirely from scratch in Photoshop, and you also created a nebula and a floating moon. In an upcoming video, I'll show you how to export this file more specifically into component parts that you can import into an animation program like Premiere or Animate, and you can animate a file to make the moon rising up into the sky, into the star field. So stay tuned for that video, it's up next.